Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chikako. I'm a full-time illustrator living in Vancouver, Canada. In this channel, I'm sharing my art journey, inspiration, and art business tips. If you are watching my video for the first time, nice to meet you. I got a comment that some of you are trying to make illustration career. So, this video is a brief guideline for you who want to be a professional illustrator. I started a full-time illustrator a year ago. Let me tell you first, illustration career is a long shot. It won't be one day, weekly success. You're gonna need to build for years. I summarized 10 things that you want to know in your first day of your illustration career. Let's go! 1. How could you become a professional illustrator? For being a professional illustrator, you don't need to have specific certificate or degree, or a job interview. The day you decided to call yourself illustrator is your first day of your professional career. Oh, I don't have clients yet. I haven't published anything yet. It doesn't matter. In fact, I felt so proud when I called myself illustrator, especially the days I didn't have any project. What I want to say here is you're stepping into this career from the day you started to draw. So believe what you're doing until today. Also, if you say, I am an illustrator 100 times to random people, eventually you get used to it. It's like muscle and habit. Second, type of illustrators. If you call yourself an illustrator, you are technically saying that you are a cook, that you can cook everything. But you don't see any restaurant where cook every food, including Japanese, Italian, French, Vietnamese, right? So I recommend you to research what types of illustrators out there. For example, they are a children's book illustrator. Children's book illustrator is a person who makes an illustration that matches with stories. That is included character design, thinking about compositions, and all pages artworks. I explain more in this video. Also, editorial illustrator is much shorter projects tied with articles. It could be used for web magazines or actual magazine that you see in supermarket or bookstore. Usually the deadline is faster and you need to do a fast move to deliver your artwork. Surface design is you will see from toys, clothes, or repeated pattern for fabrics. Usually you license your artwork and a company use your design for their product. And comic illustration is for you if you have strong storytelling with expression and composition. I only did self-publish, but you can also send your artworks to publication company or future client. There are more types of illustration career, but I just gave you some examples that I did in the past. I know you can do all of them if you take times, but you might want to decide the target as you have a lot of things that you need to learn from each categories. As I said in the beginning, it's a long shot. 3. Do you want to sell your illustration service or product? This will be a very huge turning point before starting. If you sell service, you will draw for clients. For example, children's book illustration, you will receive stories from clients and you add illustration to it as a service. The benefit of selling service is flexibility. If you sell digitally from your digital device, you can technically work anywhere in the world. The down part will be you're gonna need to deal with clients' need, and you're gonna need to find a client constantly as most of them are project-based work. If you want to sell your product, you can make your exclusive brand based on your illustration. It has a freedom that you can make anything that you want. And do marketing your product is quite fun because you already have passion about your things. The difficult part is you need to have inventory. Especially if you want to make your product cheaper, you're gonna need to make tons of them. If it's print on demand, it's good that you don't have to have your inventory, but at the same time, the cost for making gonna be higher. So you're gonna need to have strategy. For example, selling your illustrated product in your community such as YouTube platform, or finding niche who needs your product. During my illustration career, I tried both having a client as a service and making my own product to see how it is like. My current work style is to have a client who needs a editorial illustration and children book illustration. At the same time, I made a passive income stream from local cafe by selling my product there. For making better product, I go to local market and check who is my target audience, having an idea to polish my product. Knowing your target, who likes your illustration style. This is a very big strength. 4. Build your website. If you want to work with clients, first thing you need to do is to build your portfolio. If it's product, you need to make shop website. I will talk about portfolio deeper. In your portfolio, you want to have your best artwork to amaze your client. In your website, it should include home, work, about me, and contact. If you don't have any client yet, you can make some mock-up image so that client can image your final result. For your portfolio, I also recommend you to get your domain name. In my case, I'm using chikakogawa.com. It brings up your level of professionalism. I am currently using Adobe Portfolio. I find it one of the cheapest options for me. And my website is pretty simple. Home has an image of heartwarming illustrations, and work are things that I illustrated through clients. About is a picture and introducing myself. I got a picture from professional photographer. Then the contact page so that visitor can ask their project. The point here is client can see your service clearly. What are you giving as a service? 5. Online presence. It's great if you could set up the place that people can find you. I am currently using YouTube platform for doing it. It is very fun to me, connecting with people and sharing my experience. At the same time, for example, if I were a client, it's kind of nice to see who's gonna be working with me. Until recently, I needed to work this part mentally, as I was very insecure to show myself. As a proof of Instagram, I'm in the middle of way to expose myself in social platform. It's my humble opinion, but since AI art is improving, and people who doesn't illustrate by hand can also join this industry, selling only illustration is possible to be tighter. So what I'm trying to do right now is tie it with an image to show myself who has experience, knowledge, and do illustration. Especially children book illustration, I still want to believe that people still use Illustrator. Or one day I'm wondering that we will see on the surface of the book saying Illustrator, AI art. Wow, let's see. Anyway, I think in the future, showing yourself will bring more possibilities. By the way, if you enjoy my content so far, your like button will help me tremendously. 6. Don't go big, do small first. Freelance illustrator is not a person who only illustrates. You have to do marketing yourself, grabbing project, learning legal and licenses, and doing administrative things. It's like very much one-person company. During my illustration career, I learned that it's more about being an entrepreneur than being a person who draw. So instead of grabbing a big client from the beginning, I recommend you to get one client and see whole flow. If you don't have any client yet, you can make an imaginary client to make your mock-up image. or finding someone who might need an illustration around you, just for learning purposes. In the whole process, you will learn how much extra thing that you need to do, except the drawing part. If you're planning to sell your product at shop, make one first. My first one was postcard, and I found that using a printer used a lot of inks and it wasn't cost effective. So what I needed to do next was to find a local printing company who is reliable and responds to a small amount of copies. 7. Know your expense. Okay, you might think, how much should you charge for your illustration? Before going to this question, knowing your expense is a very important step. Write down how much you spend monthly or yearly. It could be a house rent, internet, electricity, foods, socializing, or some subscriptions. By doing this activity, you will get an idea how much do you need to earn at minimum to survive. And also you will have an idea what would be your ideal cost to thrive as an artist. By the way, I'm currently in the process of moving, and one of the reasons is Vancouver, where I live right now. I think it was a second expensive city in Canada. First one is Toronto, by the way. And my living cost has been increasing because of many factors like housing issues and inflations. If you spend more, you need to earn more from your work. My next move-in, I will go to one of the most affordable city inside Canada, and I hope that it's gonna be making my bar lower and receive less pressure from my art career. 8. Invest in equipment. For my big investment was iPad. I've been using this iPad mostly 3 years for client work and my personal project too. If you constantly do a good job, you can cover this cost eventually. This iPad allows me to illustrate smoothly, also having fun with animation like this, and it allows me to work anywhere I want. If you do traditional artwork, you can get a good scanner for your quality. 9. Register your business. This part might not be a fun part from the beginning, but registration your business and get business number is the first thing that you need to do. Depends on the country, process should be different, so it's up to you. I also highly recommend you to keep all receiving and spending for your tax declaration. That's your part of work too. 10. Continue improving. Even you set up everything, it's just a start. You gotta keep learning to maintain clients and having better opportunities. Keep learning and polishing your skill and be thriving and get stability. I don't have to emphasize here that it's not easy because we all know that it's not. But in fact, some people do well. So why not me? Why not you? I strongly believe that what we need is to keep doing consistently and keep polishing. If you watch until here, I really think that you are having a strong passion of making the things happen. I cheer for you and believe in you. If you have any question, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment and I'm happy to answer for you. Your feedback is very important for me to make better contents. My contents come out every Thursday. If you could subscribe this channel, I would be super happy. Good luck with your challenge and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!